Trinity Staten just celebrated her 29th birthday, 5 days before she was killed. Now her family and friends are coming together again, this time for a balloon release to remember a young life cut too short.
She'll get a shirt off her back. If you wanted her to walk a mile for you, she'll probably walk too. She wanted kids, but she would never get that chance to do that because he took her from us.
It was 2 a.m. Tuesday morning when police say her boyfriend Jeremy Northcross shot and killed Trinity while she was inside a Lyft near the mobile gas station on North Broadway in East Clarence. Her family says they got into an argument. She called the ride to escape.
But to just date her for 3 months and then take her life, why? That's all I want to know is why. What did she do so bad that you wanted to kill her?
Trinity's mom, Dominique, says the heroic Lyft driver rushed her daughter to the hospital, but she didn't make it.
I just want to hug you and say thank you so much.
Her mother calls this a heartbreaking reminder of the reality of domestic violence in the community.
But please stop taking their life for nothing. I needed my daughter. I really needed her. It's hurt me to the core. I will never be able to get my baby back, ever.
Why? What did she do so bad that you wanted to kill her? Those words don't come from anger. They come from disbelief. It's 3:30 a.m. in St. Louis. The streets are quiet, the air heavy, the glow of the gas station lights humming against the dark. Somewhere in that stillness arrives a rideshare car, engine running, headlights stretching across empty asphalt. Just be a gas station. Just entering Lyft is Trinity Staten, 29 years old, full of energy, joy, and life. She had called for a ride home after an argument with her boyfriend, Jeremy Northcross. It wasn't supposed to be dramatic. It wasn't supposed to be final. Just a ride. Just distance. Just a breath of peace after words that cut too deep. But sometimes peace is the very thing that sets control ablaze. As she climbed into that car, Trinity thought she was leaving the danger behind. She didn't know that love, twisted by obsession, had already decided she wasn't going anywhere, because her boyfriend gets on a bike and follow. While the city sleeps, a mother dreams, unaware that her daughter's laughter will never echo through her house again. And in the quiet hum of the night, gunshots will echo all over the city, ending Trinity's young and promising life. She called for safety, but her killer followed. If you're into real true crime stories, stories that dig deep into the facts and the people behind them, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We post new videos every single day, so there's always another case to uncover, another truth to explore. Trinity Staten was the kind of person whose presence filled a room before she ever spoke. At 29, she carried herself with a mix of confidence and warmth that made people gravitate toward her. She had just celebrated her birthday 5 days before her death, laughing with friends, making plans for the next year of her life, completely unaware of how short that year would be. To her family, she was more than a daughter. She was the glue that held Trinity gave, even when she had little left for herself. She loved to dance, to laugh, to make people feel seen. Her friends said she had this way of making the hardest days a little softer. There was always a joke, a hug, or a reminder that better days were coming. And although she didn't have children of her own, she carried a deep longing to become a mother someday. A dream that made her gentle, patient, and protective of everyone she loved. She believed love made people better, that it was supposed to heal, not hurt. But love shouldn't cost you your life. When she met Jeremy Northcross, she thought she had found someone who understood that. He was polite, soft-spoken, attentive, the kind of man who said all the right things at first. He met her family, smiled across her mother's dinner table, and joined in conversations like he had always belonged there. Dominic saw a man who seemed respectful, grounded, someone who might finally treat her daughter the way she deserved. It all felt normal, comfortable, easy. But sometimes danger doesn't arrive as a stranger. It doesn't break down the door or wear a mask. It smiles, shakes your hand, and asks how your day was. The relationship moved quickly. 3 months that felt like a whirlwind. They were inseparable at first, always together, always posting pictures that looked like happiness. But behind the smiles, small things began to shift. Jealousy showed up in quiet moments, questions that didn't sound like care but control, calls that came too often, arguments that lingered too long. Trinity tried to reason with him, tried to believe it was just insecurity, that love could calm it down. But control doesn't calm, it grows. Friends noticed she wasn't around as much. Her laughter, once constant, started to fade at the edges. Still, she stayed patient. She wanted peace. She wanted to believe in the best of him, because that's who Trinity was, a believer in people, in second chances, and the power of love to heal. But love built on fear isn't love at all. It's a warning dressed as devotion. And in the weeks before her death, those warnings began to grow louder. Just loud enough for others to notice, but too quiet for anyone to realize what they really meant. But just past 2 that morning, on October 14th, 2025, Trinity Staten made the decision that every survivor of chaos eventually faces. She chose to leave. The argument had gone too far, and her heart was heavy with exhaustion. She stepped outside into the cool St. Louis night, her phone in hand, her pulse racing. There were no screams, no slamming doors, no dramatic exit. Just a woman trying to find her peace in the quiet hours before dawn. She opened the rideshare app and ordered a Lyft, hoping to put distance between herself and the man whose temper had begun to eclipse his tenderness. Jeremy Northcross, the boyfriend she had welcomed into her family's life just months earlier, wasn't ready to let her go. As she waited at the gas station on North Broadway and East Clarence Avenue, Trinity probably believed she had done the right thing. Removed herself, stayed calm, chosen safety. The car pulled up. She climbed inside, closing the door behind her, as if shutting the chapter of that night for good. But across the street, in the dim wash of a streetlight, Jeremy was watching. Camera from the nearby convenience store caught the outline of him circling the car on a bicycle. Slow, deliberate, calculating. Then, in a single moment that would change everything, he pulled a gun. What happened next was so fast, so violent, it didn't even sound real. The shots cracked through the stillness, echoing across the gas pumps and through the narrow streets. Inside the car, glass shattered, and chaos swallowed the silence. He then rode away. The Lyft driver, a stranger turned savior, didn't wait for instructions. He sped off, driving through red lights, trying desperately to save her. Trinity was still breathing when they reached the hospital. That driver's name remains unknown even now, but to a grieving mother, that act of courage is everything. "I just want to hug you," Dominique said later, "and say thank you." But by the time doctors tried to save her, it was too late. Trinity died from her injuries, just 5 days after celebrating her 29th birthday. When police arrived at the gas station, the scene looked like a war zone confined to a single block. Flashing red and blue lights, officers moving under yellow tape, and evidence markers scattered like confetti after a tragedy. Witnesses pointed toward a man nearby. Officers detained him. He was calm, eerily so. In his car, they found the firearm.
Tuesday morning, a call for a rideshare turned deadly after getting into an argument. Police say 29-year-old Trinity Staten ordered a Lyft. When she got into that car, officers say her boyfriend, Jeremy Northcross, shot her from outside of the SUV.
Around 2:30 this morning, an adult female was dropped off at an area hospital after she had been shot.
We tracked down security camera video from that mobile gas station on North Broadway. You can see Northcross on a bike in a yellow shirt circling the silver SUV. It's hard to see, but he takes out a gun, points to the car, and you can see a flash. That's when people around the gas station ducked for cover. Documents say he shot his girlfriend in the passenger seat as the silver SUV takes off.
Shortly after entering that rideshare, shots were fired into that car. The rideshare driver was not hurt, but heroically rushed the female to the hospital in an attempt to save her life.
Staten died at the hospital. Employees say Northcross stayed at the scene but changed shirts. About 2 hours later, security video shows officers escorting Northcross over to their police cars where they handcuffed him.
As dawn broke, the North Wharf front was quiet again, the world indifferent to what had just happened. The hum of early traffic rolled past the gas pumps, the city waking up as one family's life ended. The silence that follows gunfire isn't peace, it's shock. It's the kind of quiet that makes time stop, the kind where grief has not yet found its voice. When Dominique arrived, that silence broke. The moment a mother sees the flashing lights and realizes they're not for someone else, the air leaves her body. She screamed her daughter's name into a world that could not give her back. Later, she would describe Trinity as the life of the party, loved by plenty. In her voice, you could hear pride and devastation wrestling at once. Days later, family and friends gathered downtown for a balloon release. The sky turned soft with color, pink and white spheres rising toward the clouds, carrying with them the weight of hundreds of unspoken prayers. A balloon release was held for Trinity Staten. She was shot and killed early Tuesday morning while trying to get into a Lyft outside a North City gas station. Below, Dominique's cry carried across the crowd, breaking hearts that were already broken. As the balloons rose, the narrator says softly, a mother's cry anchored them to earth. Neighbors, siblings, nieces, nephews, they all stood together, trying to fill the void that one person's presence had once so easily filled. They didn't just lose Trinity, they lost their center. Meanwhile, detectives continued to piece together the timeline. They had the gun, they had Jeremy Northcross in custody, and according to charging documents, they had his admission. After being read his rights, he told investigators he fired the shots at the vehicle. He didn't try to run. He didn't try to deny it. The charges came swiftly: first-degree murder and armed criminal action. Northcross had no prior record, no history of violence, only a minor traffic violation in his past. That clean slate made it even harder to comprehend how love could twist into something so brutal.
I know that that we have a person of interest who is a man that is being interviewed upstairs by our homicide detectives.
We now know that Jeremy Northcross was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action.
He was ordered to be held without bond, his first court appearance set for October 22nd. Inside those sterile walls, justice began its slow crawl forward, while outside, grief raced ahead without rest. And here's the part that no courtroom can ever measure: the devastation left behind. The dinners without laughter, the phone calls that will never come, the ache of her nieces and nephews asking for Auntie Trinity. The story of Trinity Staten isn't just about a shooting at a gas station. It's about trust betrayed, about how easily affection can disguise control, and how quickly control can turn to violence. She called for safety, and she should have found it. But instead, that night became a lesson written in heartbreak, a reminder that even the kindest souls aren't spared from cruelty. And for her mother, that's the question that will echo forever. Why? What did she do so bad that someone who claimed to love her decided she didn't deserve to live? The truth is, she didn't do anything wrong. She simply tried to leave. In the weeks that followed, Trinity's story became more than a headline. It became a warning. Because sometimes it doesn't take years for love to turn lethal. Sometimes it happens in months or even weeks, when control dresses itself as care. Possessiveness is not passion. Jealousy is not love. And silence, the kind that isolates you from friends and family, is often the first bruise, just one that doesn't show. Dominique has repeated the same plea again and again. If you are ever in it, find a way to get out. Her daughter didn't think she was in danger. Most victims never do, until it's too late. The family still searches for the Lyft driver, not out of curiosity, but out of gratitude. That stranger tried to save her. And in a city that's lost too many women to rejection and rage, gratitude becomes a rare form of healing. Candlelight vigils and balloon releases turned into something bigger, a collective vow not to stay silent anymore. Meanwhile, justice moves forward, slow and methodical. In Missouri, first-degree murder means intent, planning, purpose, a choice to destroy a life. But grief doesn't move on a courtroom calendar. It lingers, breathing through memories and old videos of Trinity's laughter. She didn't die in silence. Her story now stands as a warning, a call, a reminder that leaving should never mean dying. Say her name, protect her memory, and when you see control disguised as love, believe it the first time. Rest in peace, Trinity Staten. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We upload new true crime content daily, covering cases you know, and many you don't. Stick with us as we bring you more stories that deserve to be heard. See you in the next video.